And Congressman Bryan Steil. Good to see you, Congressman. So you and I were talking last night. You were at Tom Tiffany's victory party there. And now things changed a bit in terms of the outcome with Francesca Hong. She's no longer the candidate that Tom Tiffany will go up against. So how is he feeling? How is Wisconsin feeling about this race, Tom Tiffany versus David Crowley?
David Crowley and Francesca Hong are in many ways two sides of the same coin. Tom Tiffany laid it out there last night that when he had an opportunity, David Crowley didn't say one negative thing about the policies that Francesca Hong supports. The reason Francesca Hong is going to go campaign with David Crowley is because the positions that they have are actually incredibly similar. The state and the country realize how radical Francesca Hong is. They're about to realize how radical David Crowley is. And so this is our opportunity for Tom Tiffany to go out and explain to the American people, but in particular in the state of Wisconsin, how common sense reforms can get this state back on track, and contrast that with the radical Democrat socialist policies of David Crowley and Francesca Hong. And so I'm actually very bullish that at the end of the day, in 83 days from today, when voters go to the polls in Wisconsin and across the country, that Tom Tiffany will be elected the next governor of our state.
So, Congressman, Wisconsin has recently been very, very close. I remember 2016, 2020, both decided by about 20,000 votes in the presidential race. 2024, President Trump won it by about 30,000 votes. What will be the difference in this coming up race?
Wisconsin elections are always close, whether or not it's the Democratic primary from last night or presidential or Senate races. This will be a close governor's race in the state of Wisconsin. And it's in large part going to be about turnout, making sure that there are not people sitting on the sidelines that choose not to go and vote. If people in the state of Wisconsin don't want to go the way of downtown Madison and of the city of Milwaukee, it's folks from around the state that are going to have to get up and get out and have their voice heard. When we do that, we can show success. That's how President Trump won the state of Wisconsin. It's how U.S. Senator Ron Johnson has won the state of Wisconsin. And so this is going to be about a turnout election and a contrast between the common sense policies of Tom Tiffany, myself, and other members, contrasted with the radical socialist policies of the Democratic Party. I think at the end of the day, we're going to turn out our base, we're going to turn out our voters, and the people of Wisconsin are going to be looking for common sense, not the crazy socialist policies that we see from the left.
So, Congressman, it's David Crowley who will square off with Tom Tiffany for that coveted seat in Wisconsin. And here's what Tiffany told his supporters last night as he cruised to victory in his Republican primary.
This isn't a typical election about red versus blue. This is an election about the very soul of the state of Wisconsin. It's about what kind of Wisconsin we're going to leave the next generation. Do we pass on a Wisconsin built on freedom, freedom and opportunity? Or do we accept a future where government gets bigger?
I think one of the key issues that Francesca Hong, she got right in terms of taking the temperature on the people of Wisconsin is the affordability issue. Many people were relating to her on that. What will Tom Tiffany do to overcome some of the Democrat messaging on that issue?
Well, Francesca Hong and David Crowley spoke about affordability, but their policies move in the wrong direction, making life less affordable. Both of them want to raise taxes on hardworking families in the state of Wisconsin. You contrast that clearly with Tom Tiffany's policy of reducing the tax burden, actually building on the tax cuts that we got made permanent in Washington, D.C. For example, Tom Tiffany and myself both voted to reduce tax on tips, tax on overtime, reduce tax on Social Security to make life more affordable in the state of Wisconsin. And so although the radical Democrats will pay lip service to affordability, when you actually peel back the onion just a little bit, you recognize that the Democratic policies actually make life less affordable. And you have to have nothing more clear than the fact that David Crowley raised the sales tax while he was county executive in Milwaukee. And Francesca Hong had a policy that she was trying to put forward to make Wisconsin the highest tax state in the country. These are high tax, unaffordable Democrats against common sense policies on the right. The Democrats, David Crowley, is unifying with the Democratic Socialists of America today. Tom Tiffany and I are working to unify the state for common sense reforms to make sure that we do not allow Wisconsin to go the way of our neighboring states of Illinois and Minnesota, where employers left the state, people lost their jobs, This is our chance to save the state of Wisconsin.
All right, Wisconsin Congressman Bryan Steil, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.